in the end, if you like it and you know you want it, buy what you like. That's the key. Everyone says, what should I invest my money on in collectibles? Buy what you like. Yeah. Everyone says that. They don't want to tell you, oh, go get the low run, super rare, high spec because he's coming. He's coming.
Yeah.
You haven't announced it, but he's coming. You know what I mean? Like kind of specking. They don't want to tell you that because they're the ones that are buying all of that stuff. They just tell you buy what you like because they don't want you either to come back and be like, hey, you told me to buy these and nothing happened. It's been 2 years already. Like I hate you.
Yeah.
You know, type situation. So just buy what you like. But in reality, I think what's really gonna take NFTs to another level as far as physical and digital is if you get, they're just doing it with NFTs anyways.
Yeah.
Perks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that would help sell. Like say you buy, you know, a freaking Miles Morales, first appearance of Miles Morales, super big, like kids. You ask a kid who's Spider-Man, what's his name? You ask a 5-year-old that. They're not gonna tell you Peter Parker.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you Miles Morales, dude.
Yeah.
And anyways, that's just telling you how big he is now. But if you buy that, and hey, with that, DC's gonna throw an exclusive party. You get to hang out with all the exclusive artists and whatever of whoever had to do with that, and you get first exclusive dibs on exclusives. Like, wouldn't you buy it? Like, I would buy it. Like, if they were like, I mean, that's like, that's it. Well, that's
subjective to what's interesting to you.
Exactly, but they're going for that specific niche market because they're asking premium. Their prices would be like very expensive, right?
I'm sure a lot of people would do that.
Yeah, a lot of people would do that because it's you want to have that exclusivity. Like, you want to be in that private party. You know what I mean? That location.
With that party at all because it's super cool.
Yeah. So I think that would help you sell, not. Go to Starbucks, you buy a cup, and you get a digital. That's not
for its own sake. It's very strange.
Yeah, the marketing's not there, and you have to have the right marketing to do stuff like that, crazy stuff like that. I don't know. It just seems the way to me. But then again, you also just have crazy people out there that were buying anyways.
Yeah. I agree. Like reasonable perks and things that are actually applicable, not like strange stuff. I saw a funny story of a celebrity that was like selling all these tiers of perks, and you can spend like thousands of dollars to buy NFT and crypto and stuff, and it comes with physical perks. And one that was really funny that they got themselves like maybe into legal trouble is they said, oh, I'm gonna have like an exclusive restaurant, an exclusive like bar, and like all these a club and stuff that only the people with NFTs will go, but they only got like 4 or 5 people to get it. So it's like now you're kind of legally obligated to spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to build all these things for 4 people. No one else can come in. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you just go, oh, sorry, we couldn't do it. We have to be irresponsible. Sorry. But like,
and refund them or something?
But realistically, like, you could be in some real trouble if you promise all this stuff and like, I'm going to build this. So you give them all this money, and then those are expensive NFTs, or whatever. They're vouchers, right, at this point. But like
digital vouchers,
right. Like, I don't even know if this thing is just. I don't think anybody cares, but just funny that it's like, oh, it's thousands of dollars. Oh, cool. 4 people can come to this super cool exclusive kitchen, right? This restaurant.
Yeah, it's very true. It can be very It can be like you're buying a ticket to an admission somewhere. Or you can also be in a group of people, and a person that's not sponsoring, like not DC, would be like, hey, I'm throwing a yacht party. I'm gonna get a yacht. I'm gonna throw a party. Only people that have Ultimate Fallout NFT can come.
Yeah.
So
it works better if it's like, it's been around for a year. Or something.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the best option. And then there's only like 30,000 of those made.
Right.
But
it's a big yacht.
No. That's the thing. To get the super rare, only 600.
There you go. Still a big yacht.
I know. It's a big
mega yacht. Jeff Bezos yacht.
Yeah. But then there's people that are hoarding them and stacking them. So it goes from 600 to, like, let's say, realistically, 50 people.
I just thought of a flex. There's like a guy that comes in, walks out, goes back in,
Yeah,
walks
yeah,
out.
yeah. It's like, it's
I got him. I got 8. Like,
yeah, it's a loop. It's a loop. Yeah.
I'm super exclusive.
Yeah, yeah. How many you got? I'm like, I got one. I got 20 of them. You're like, congratulations.
Yeah.
You're cool.
You could have bought a house. Like, cool, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll meet the homeless rich guy that has all the NFTs.
Yeah.
Like, I got to go to a boat.
Yeah. And the only guy making money is the guy that sold them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To him.
Right, yeah.
But anyways, that'd be cool, you know. And then like also, yeah, it's just like a digital voucher to get into something. If the retailer sells it to you that way. But if like you're part of a community and you do believe in the NFT and you really care about it and you own multiples or even one, and someone in the community is like, hey man, yeah, let's and they're not just gonna be average Joe, they're gonna be like influencer or someone that can coordinate things, like be like, hey, I'm gonna invite all these people over, we're gonna have a pretty cool DJ, like come over to my house, or I'm gonna get a warehouse and we're just gonna make a cool little shindig. Only people with Ultimate Fallout Force can come. You know what I mean? That would be really cool, dude.
Yeah.
And I've heard of things like this before. On super rare exclusive NFTs, like the Bored Ape stuff and stuff like that. You can only go to these certain like parties where famous people are at. If you have that NFT, which is like millions of dollars worth of NFTs, right? At that point, not anymore.
It's coming back probably. Maybe we'll see.
You know, 90% loss is a 90%. Yeah.
I mean, most collectibles aren't going to retain value. Like
yeah, but like overnight, 90% loss. That's rough, dude.
Overnight. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like it's a thing. Like collectibles should be fun for you, and maybe you spec into some of them. There's some realms, so like, you know, I was lucky where a lot of Magic is a good game and it's not overprinted and whatever. So like, yeah, I retained a lot of value over time, right? Where like a lot of stuff doesn't necessarily do that. Where like the games have to innovate. Like honestly, like I used to go to card shops a lot. I was surprised Pokemon stayed around because it was so dead in there. Like they took all the counters away. It was like all but like one little 5% of the store for years. It's like, how did it stay? Well, of course, there's always new kids, and they innovated. They made new interesting stuff and printed interesting, made new cards, right? But like Pokemon, the actual IP had to make interesting games and stuff. That's the only way it came back. It was a combination of both, right? Yeah. And they did good just saving and salvaging something that was basically on life support. It was dead. So, but like if your game, and we've talked about this with like scarcity and all that stuff before, but like, yeah, Magic, it didn't overprint, it didn't do anything crazy. And if it did, then like, okay, cool. This is supposed to be rare, but there's millions of them, like nobody cares, right? So, you know, I'm fortunate that like my stuff did reasonably well, and it's lower now because all finance, everything collectible, investable, everything is down. But that's just the nature of the market.
Very true.
But people still use it, people like it, people do collect it and heavily play it in tournaments, whatever. So it's not going anywhere. You're gonna have the wrath of the bear market for a while here, for every asset everywhere. But eventually, you know, that's gonna come back for things that stand the test of time and things. So
yeah, I actually follow some YouTubers and stuff, and I had them say some stuff that was like, all right, let me see what this video is about. And I watched it, and one of them was talking about how comic books are recession proof. You know, how they retain their value, or if not, go up in a recession. And obviously, it's not every comic book. We're talking about the appearance of Spider-Man. Like, we're talking about like blue chip, like super hard to get, that are worth tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands anyways.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
the same thing as real art.
Yeah, exactly.
Van Goghs and stuff.
Yeah, they don't lose value.
Yeah.
Recession, it'll probably still break a record. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter because it's looking for that specific buyer that has the money. And I think that's what he was trying to like link up. But like, he started it off kind of like, you know, comic books. And let me just say, not anyone. We're talking about like specific ones and that are elite that have keys which have like first appearances or special in some way. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because that's what I first think when I read the title. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I processed it. And I was like, yeah, it's like only the best of the best. You know what I mean?
Same thing with Magic stuff.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
of the stuff just
Yeah,
forever. That
yeah.
that top 1 to 10% just skyrockets. It's never gonna stop.
And all you need is that one buyer. That
Yeah.
one buyer to come in and be like, I really want that. I'm gonna in an auction overpay, or
Yeah.
I'm just gonna overpay it straight up, give you an offer that, you know, how much do you want? You're not selling it. What if I give you this much?
Right. Yeah.
You know, kind of like a Logan Paul style with that Charizard. You know,
I heard about it. I don't know.
he went to some dude's house and he's like had like these crazy, like he had like 5 or 6 Charizards, like super rare, first prints and all that stuff.
It's paid out, right?
Yeah, he walked in there with a suitcase full of money. The guy still said no. He was like, nah, there's sentimental value behind it.
That's crazy.
And then he had to go in sentimental mode and be like, oh, there's sentimental value? Well, guess what? Like, I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to, like, you know, keep it, like, perfect. Like, this is what I need.
Interesting. This is what I need.
Give him, like, a little sob story. And the guy's like, oh, maybe I'll sell it. And he's like, 250,000 cash. And he's like, done. You know what I mean? Like, it's one
if
of
I
those.
had a whole collection, maybe you just keep one. You know, like something if you really.
Yeah, like he probably paid off his house with that kind of money. Dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Yeah, but anyways, that's how you need that one buyer that comes in.
Yeah.
But it's super rare and super scarce. But you get like other guys that are just more like collecting. They're like, I need to fill this run.
Yeah.
You know, I need this. How much you want for it? If it's reasonable and it's not crazy, they're gonna buy it. You know what I mean?
Well,
go ahead.
Everything is like statistics and everything, right? Like if you have a good game, Pokemon, Magic, whatever, like some of these old cards only have like a couple thousand or under 10,000 prints, like that are like not damaged, salvaged, whatever, thrown away, burned in a fire. So like if somebody wants it, like somebody's gonna make a lot of money and be really successful and live in Beverly Hills and start collecting. Like somebody wants it, right? Because it's like, oh, that reminded me of, you know, 10, 20, 30 years ago when I was a kid. So like they'll pay, you know, 10,000, 100,000 for a card or whatever, fill in the blank, you know. Some of these are, you know, from 1970. Somebody's gonna buy them and put them, you know, and look at them as they drink really expensive wine, you know, or show them off to like their supermodel girlfriend that doesn't care, you know. So like it's just how it goes.
Just hang it up.
Like all those deep-fried oil princes, you know, like, oh, I want to just go collect something that's hundreds of thousands of dollars that, you know, my family is super wealthy. It's easy. It's somebody's gonna pay it.
Yep.
And the number's going down. If you look at Black Lotus, it's like Magic's most famous card. Like, Post Malone just paid like, that card used to be like $3,000 to $10,000, like fluctuate. Like he paid like 80 grand for one, and I think somebody else paid like 100 grand, and then he paid like a special variation, like Chris Rush, like signed, like whatever, it's like 800 grand. So it's like, okay, you know, but to somebody that has hundreds of whatever millions of dollars, like who cares? Like, yes, I'm gonna buy it at auction, I'm gonna buy it outright way more than somebody else. Yeah, and it's really nothing to him, you know. So
yeah, that's great. I was thinking about something right now. Oh yeah, print runs. So that's the beautiful thing about physicals, right? Is because they can get damaged, like you said, burned.
Yeah, especially something you noticed 10 years ago. So it's not getting printed anymore.
It get drops in value. Even if there was a 20 prints, like 20 what was it called, edition print after that, like it was like print. This is the 5th print or whatever. Like if it's like, yeah, sure, it's worth 50 cents, but the original print is still worth thousands.
Right. You know what I mean? And like, sometimes if it's great, the first like 3. Yeah, they're still worth it.
Because the people that slept on the first one, FOMO the second one, the people that FOMO the second one, FOMO the third one, and it just dominoes effects until like the 3rd or 4th print, and then it kind of starts dying off at that point. Because at that point, there's like,
that scarcity still might be high for those first couple prints.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Say the first print was like 5, second print was 20, third print was 50. Like that's already like 75. You know what I mean? Thousands of prints.
But they get destroyed over 20 years, you know. So
there you go. And then that's what I was trying. That's what my whole point I was trying to remember.
I'm here with you. I'm tracking.
The whole point is like that number 1 keeps going up because why? Possibility, burn, water damage, loss, whatever. dirt, torn, damaged, whatever. So there's a, what did I say? There was like 500 or whatever people.
Yeah.
Whatever the number was, it's half now.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the second print.
All of
Same
them are
thing with
going
the
down
third
over
print.
time. Yep.
Yep. And like, you know what I mean? Like, how many are there of these Thor 240s from 1975?
Not many, I'm sure.
Probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even if there was a lot printed at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That many years later.
I mean, this is the Amazing Spider-Man #1 homage, Todd McFarlane homage, where he's like sitting like that, kind of sprawled up like that. So homage or whatever you want to call it. There's thousands of these homages of like this variation of him standing this way or whatever.
Yeah.
But the original one, they printed like 150,000 or something like that in the 90s. Like it was like 91.
Yeah.
But they're still worth.
Yeah.
You know, they're still worth $20, $30, and it was worth $199 back in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because people still want them. You know what I mean? And 120,000.
It's not that many. 2 decades later.
2 decades later, and let's say just damage alone is like half.
Yeah.
And then,
mint stuff is hard to find.
People aren't selling the other, percentage, like say 10% or whatever. So it's still, it still has value, even if it's a large amount of print. It just if people like it, that's the thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if they don't like it, and like you know what I mean, like this one right here, it's a key. But like it's not really Thor. It's not really like these characters aren't really popping off.
Yeah.
Well, Thor isn't, but like the characters inside the book aren't really popping off.
Right.
So it's still worth like $6-7. You know what I mean? But it's worth 25 cents back in '75.
It's super cool looking though.
Yeah.
I want to collect that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of them. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm a huge Hulk fan. I have a bunch of these Hulks. 70s issues. So like I think it's like 74 or 75. Can't remember. Less than that. It's called like bronze. Anything greater than that is called copper, and then you get into like the late 90s, early 2000s, it's called modern. And then you get anything below, I think it's like 60s, silver, and then below that, like 10 cents is like gold.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
gold
cool.
ages. So we're talking about ages.
Yeah.
And
right.
So when you have like a collector and they come up to you and they're like, I'm looking for Silver Age comics.
Yeah.
And they're like,
okay. Cool.
No one knows any, like, the average person doesn't know. Like, I met a guy when I was like, hey, do you have any Silver Age comics? And he's like, well, what about like bronze? Maybe I'll take some copper. And he's like, what do you want, medals or something? Like, what are you looking for? Like, he's so lost in the subject, you know what I mean? Like, but if I would have told him I'm looking for a 1975 Thor, do you have it? He'd be like, no, I don't have 1975 Thor. But I was being fancy with it.
Right.
And he was just like, what? You want medals?
We talked about this for a while.
Yeah, no, because it's an interesting subject.
Yeah.
So collectible industry is very wide and it has a lot of varieties, and I don't want to go on it, like, but there's the basic, I just want, 1,000, common print of something because I want to read it or I just want to collect it. And then there's like, I want exclusive, only less than 500 prints, and I want it by a specific artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kind of collector.
And
then you just keep moving on the tiers. You keep moving on the tiers. Go ahead.
I just know for video games years ago, and I assume it's still, I haven't checked, but like PlayStation 1 games and like original Halo, like if you had the original case and stuff, people want to collect that, and then they'll have like the greatest hits of PlayStation where they'll reprint it, you can get it for cheaper. It's, if those games are $50, they'd be like 20, 25, something like that. So, it's like, oh, I have the original, like this game, Final Fantasy VII. Oh, I have, the greatest hits version. So, the original, I'd assume somebody collects like all that stuff, and people have libraries, and I've seen YouTube videos of people have walls and collecting everything. So, once again, similar with comics, get the first edition release, and people value that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's another thing I was gonna say earlier too. When you're talking about like as a kid, you do these things, and then you grow up and you can afford them. Type of
thing. Come back
to it.
Yeah. Nostalgic.
I nicknamed it buying a piece of your childhood.
Yeah.
Because literally you are, because you reminisce of the times you had when you had that back in the day, and then you want to relive it by owning it, or just not like owning it and playing with it, but like owning it and being like a statue or it's like a memory, like a memory bank almost. Like
exactly.
I remember the time when I was at that age and I would play with this. I had so much fun, man. Those were the good times. Moving on. You know what I mean? Like it's
Every
just,
time you look at it, oh, I remember that couch with those friends, those people you made those memories with.
You get that little
it's not
reel.
replaceable. Yeah.
You get that reel in your head, and you're just like, man,
Yeah.
that's why I bought it, and that's why I have it hanging up in my wall.
Yeah.
That's another thing about collecting that it's passionate when people don't understand is that, but people do it with certain things like living in their hometown that they grew up in, or like having the friends or whatever. They do it other ways. Everyone does it. Everyone it's just that memory bank. It's
yeah.
Right.
Well, just for I remember months ago when we talked about Vivi, it's like, if you're a fan of Spider-Man or Captain America or Thor, you're a fan for life. Like, if you're a fan of a kid, that never goes away. So you got all these people want to come back and collect stuff. Nobody can convince you otherwise that you're a fan of Venom or Sandman. If you grew up on that stuff, it's never going away. So that's the staying power and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's why companies, with Pokemon, it's that's a gold mine. It's I can keep making stuff. There's always new kids, make new memories, and that's good for you. You got a really good marketing strategy.
Yeah. It also starts with the parents as well. I mean, there's kids that like Pokemon. They just want to watch the movies and cartoons because they like it. And then there's the kids that have the parents that collect it and they understand the value and the possibility of actually having something great. And they go up and collect. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. It's just who your parents are, and where you're at. As far as collecting, man, it's great. It's a good investment. And who knows, you might end up collecting something you like that pops off, and you buy two.
Buy two. Yeah, hopefully you buy two.
Hopefully you buy two because you can sell one and make your money back and some.
Sleeve them up.
Sleeve them up. He got his card sleeved.
Yeah.
He has a hard case.
I keep it in a bag too. Usually.
In a bag as well too. Yeah. Ziploc, vacuum sealed. No. It's crazy. That's the thing about books, dude. The weather, dude. They literally dries it out.
You're sitting in the sun. Yeah.
Fades it. Anything, dude. That's why you always want to keep it in a cold, dark place. That's it.
Yeah.
Refrigerator. No. You have a walk-in refrigerator in your house.
My strange addiction. I eat comic books.
Yeah, you walk in there. It's just it's dark. It's a black lit, and then there's just fucking fog coming everywhere because it's cold, and then you just have racks of just sleeved up books and stuff. You're like, oh god, there's other one. It's in a Ziploc bag as well.
You just open and sniff it.
Let me get that 1975
whiff.
Oh, it smells like ass.
It's I go into this fridge. I've started doing this with the wrong person, guys. Nope. There's one wrong way to collect at least.
We can delete that. It was just funny. It was just funny to throw it in there because you thought it was gonna go somewhere it smells like old withered paper, and I'm it smells like ass.
I think it's fine.
That's funny. That's hilarious, dude. So some of it does because it gets all moldy and nasty smelling. Anyways,
it definitely can't be too cold.
Yeah, it can't be too cold. Yeah, but no, cold enough to where it's around
a little bit lower than room temperature.
Yeah, somewhere 60s. Yeah, 60s is cold enough. Yeah. And dark. Dark. You don't want to
do crazy stuff.
Sun damage, fades it a lot. Also water damage. That's the beautiful thing about books is dude, if you do not take care of them, you can go from that's another thing I was gonna say. Grading. When you get them graded, you get them encapsulated. They encapsulate them.
Sure.
They vacuum seal the comic books,
cool.
And then they encapsulate it, which is amazing.
That's nice.
Because then just protect it from the sun. Protects it from the weather, dude. The water,
right. It's pressed, basically.
Yeah, it's pressed, and it's those machines where they vacuum seal, food and stuff. They kind of vacuum seal the comic book.
But then you can't sniff it.
You can't sniff it. You can't smell that ass. But and then also going back to your video game thing, they're starting to grade video
Yeah,
games.
sure,
Yeah, you
sure.
get them in a box, and it tells you like the
Sure.
quality and like how sharp the edges are on the box, and
Yeah, it's cool.
it gives you a peace of mind when you sleep because you buy an authentic
Sure.
piece. You don't buy someone just freaking photocopied and stuck it on a box, and it's like, hey man, I got this.
Yeah.
You know, freaking Mario Kart #1 or whatever. You know.
Woke up in the middle of the night. Oh no, is my thing authentic?
Is it authentic or not?
Oh, no.
Why is it kind of like peeling from the edge?
I'm having bad dreams.
Yeah. Why did I spend so much money on this? It's not even real.
Oh, that was
All right.
fun.
That's it, bro. That's all I got for collectibles, passion, and also buy what you like, man.
Yeah, if you're not into it, like, don't be buying speculation and hype just because somebody else like it. I'm sure you can do that with a very small amount, but generally, you know, you got to do things you like, and then you really know the market's better because you're into it. So, but just try to have fun, and hopefully you buy two if you really like it that
Buy
much.
two.
But yeah, that's it. Signing out. Hopefully you guys like the collectible episode. Let us know. Maybe do some more whatnot.
All right. Out. That was good, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
How long do you think we went on this one?
50 minutes. Hour and 10?
Hour and 13.